formal hardware corporations, and they can work compatible with industrial resources. So we call ourselves Maker for Makers. I was a maker, and our employee in Seeedstudio were makers. Now we provide services like technologies, manufacturing, and also promotion to makers. So we are thinking that beyond the screens there are more fun opportunities. We look at computers, they are within the screen, the internet is between the screens, but the things around us, they are still dumb, still not connected. If we look at these guys, there are, let's say, small groups that starting the business with passion instead of money only. So they are just thinking something cool, they do it. And they don't have much resources, so they are a very small group, but collaborate. And they, like, Steve Jobs was a technician, was an engineer. And if we look at now, Adam was a software engineer, Zach was a website developer, and while Bray is a public school teacher. So you see the professional, their career background is less important for technology innovations. So everybody is can involved in this maker culture and create something they're passionate about. This is what we're thinking. I think the character might be the same. Like that's the sci-fi. That's something you dream for the future, especially for otakus like us. And also you look at art, designs. Now makers bring this together. They remove the boundaries between different sections. And it was very difficult because the companies are growing too big and too professional. If you want two professional companies to work together, it requires a lot of negotiations and contracts, NDA. But as the makers are small and small group, one people, they can work very openly and share the interests together. And they can also work with bigger company to create open innovations for like Sony, like Toyota, like very big companies. And also they can talk with commoners around us. They can invite more commoners to join the maker culture. They can also look at everyday demands and satisfy that. So we think makers are making differentiating ideas into reality. They are still creating very, cross boundaries among different domains. And we are also looking at the trend is the supply chain. The product innovation was supply chain oriented. We created something new. We optimize the cost. We optimize the supply chain, so we can promote to the mass media, to the mass consumers. But now, since we are very much satisfied of what's existing, we're looking for to have more diversities. So we use SNS, social networks. We use crowdfunding to collect the diverse demands. And then use very agile manufacturing, use open source technology, maker communities to fulfill that demands. So the direction has changed, and makers are answering to more niche markets, to more unanswered mass, because there are so many demands that the big company don't care about, or they cannot care about. And since we have more and more people involved in product innovations, this actually creates a big base. A lot more people can involve into the innovation. And also because they are too small, they need to use open source technologies to accomplish their creation. And after they create something, they will open source again, so other people can help them to improve. And makers are never satisfied of what's existing, they bring mutations. And with this trend, it feels very much like biology. You see, in the very beginning, they are very, single cell animals, planktonics, and you move into dinosaurs, very big, very strong, but sometimes they are too big. And look at makers, they are more like small mammals, can fit into a lot of differentiating environment. And some of them, we hope in the future, can evolve into something more intelligent, more potential. And we are very much, I'll say, excited to bring more people into this circle. And they used to say the hardware is hard, but I think there is a big problem. The software is like band. You have 4 or 3 people, you need to go, you have a computer, you have all set. But for hardware, you need to work a lot on the supply chain. If you look at manufacturing, you need to concern about quality, and you need to, there's so many things you need to worry about. So you need a much bigger group to work on this single project. It's more like orchestra. So people say hardware is hard because they use a band to accomplish something that needs orchestra. So to help reduce the requirement of a much bigger group, we are helping with, we are using open source hardware concept to improve that. If you look back onto computers, when we do DIY our own computers, you find you choose a CPU, which is the main board, sound speakers, VGA card, display, everything, and you put them together. You have your customized computer. I think we are trying to accomplish the same thing on smart hardware. So you can choose microcontroller, you can choose interface, which is like a small display, the communication module, sensor, and batteries. You put everything together with a standardized interface, and you use 3D printer enclosure, and it's all set. We have the first prototype, and they are also manufacturing friendly. And we are doing this because pretty much we are in Shenzhen. We call it the Hollywood for makers. If you try to Google manufacturing related, you will see all the red dots about manufacturing in Shenzhen. So you can drive 1 hour and reach all your factories. We call it design from manufacturing. You look what's existing. You look at all the capabilities and use the restraints to design your own product. That would be much easier to manufacture in small quantities, with much less difficulty. So we are thinking the manufacturing is more like a service. And the service time is very important. We will also be late. We are challenging ourselves, how fast can we manufacture things? So we are trying to do it in 24 hours. So each week we manufacture 1 product from 1 piece to 100 pieces. From files to real 100 products in 1 day, and it works. All the capabilities are there, just nobody tried that before. We can order the PCB in the morning. We're supposed to get the fastest order in the afternoon, and we prepare all the files, all the SOPs, all the workers meanwhile. So when the PCB is ready, all the components should be in place, and we get them assembled right away. So we can actually accomplish manufacturing less than 1 day. And also we are thinking that as manufacturing is becoming more like a service, it should be more approximate to the customers. So we are making the manufacturing more decentralized. And this is our first branch office in San Francisco, in Bay Area. California, because there are so many makers there. We want to bring the manufacturing in front of them so they can bring from 1 piece to 100 pieces just right next to their neighborhoods. It was very difficult to fly to Shenzhen if they only have some very new product to try it out. But here, they can just talk with us and to work with us to bring the first 100 pieces into real life. And during that, they will realize what they need to improve, what they need to rectify their manufacturing procedures. When we finish the 100 pieces manufacturing back in Bay Area, we can port them back to Shenzhen whenever needed. So it's like we are providing partner to them whenever they need to manufacture several thousands. We are already prepared. We just give it a go, and we manufacture in Shenzhen to coordinate supply chains here, send it back or deliver to the customers. So we are doing this the first stop here, and luckily we are our second booth will be in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So that's why we are talking with Street Science to build up that branch. Okay. We're hoping to have more, like the sort of one will be in Berlin. So we are building a network for manufacturing in small quantities. And
thank you.
this is Takao-san. It was last year's Maker Faire Shenzhen. Since the first Maker Faire Shenzhen, we have a lot of Japanese makers come over, and we see a lot of exciting works. It's so close and it's ready to travel with just very less jet lag. And we go to Japan as well. I went to the Maker conference 2 years ago, and we went to last year's Maker Faire Tokyo. It was Gundam, of course, we didn't go there.
Yeah, it's Gundam.
Yeah, and that's the paper sent to Takasu.
Oh, yes. I make a
really hands-on workshop with paper. And that's it, I keep making party. We are so enjoying that, and we introduced them to the Shenzhen Maker Faire.
Thank you.
Which will be the closing party this year. So we see a lot more collaborations, a lot more synergy between Tokyo and Shenzhen. Because Shenzhen has a lot of cultures, a lot of wonderful designers. I think it's one of the best industrial designers in Japan. And then you have a lot of core technology and of course robotics. And meanwhile, back in Shenzhen, we are, I'll say, in the front of a huge market of China. And we have full spectrum of engineers who can get their all the wonderful designs into reality and suitable for production. And of course, the supply chains are here. So if we can build a bridge between the two cities, have more communication, collaborations, I think that can be a very powerful engine. So that's why we're talking. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very nice presentation. This is.
It's a very brief one. We have a lot of story to tell, but I think that's most relevant to the manufacturers what we are doing. And last year I was in the Maker Faire Tokyo. I see a lot of wonderful works. I think Maker Faire Tokyo is not the biggest, but it's the best. Because all the design are very quality. But it's kind of pity that we don't see it much from China, from the States. It's very much, I'll say, self-contained. We want to build up rates and to introduce more Japanese makers to the global community, and also give them to portal to a lot more markets. So, do you have any questions, or I'm not sure if I have brave.
I want to know your factory for makers in Nico-Tech.
Factory.
Yeah.
We have our own factory. We call it Agile Manufacturing Center. It's downstairs, and it's like half of the floor. It's very small, but we focus on agile, which means we manufacture as many benches as possible. We now maximum we can manufacture 40 different products in one day. So it's in the beginning we see manufacturing as product lines for mass production, and then we see some more like lean, like Kanban. It's more JIT, which means we can manufacture small quantity, large quantities more precisely according to demands. But what we are facing is how to manufacture different batches of different products using very small volume, very faster. So we change, you will see our layout of the factory is totally different. And we use machines which more digital, more agile, and we even use 3D printer to manufacture small quantities. And we design our own test jigs to fit for the small batches. And of course in the future we want to be more automatic and more information technology enhanced. So that's something we would like to work with Japanese companies. And also for workers, you can see downstairs, our workers are a lot more coming from universities instead of middle schools. So they are more somehow like engineers rather than just labor. We hope in the future they can dance with robotics. You see all the robotics used for manufacturing is like the full spectrum 6-axis robotic arms. That's too expensive, too much. Or we use very dumb, very repetitive machines, and that's not suitable for a small quantity of manufacturing. So what we are trying to do, maybe later we can introduce Wayne Hezui to them. Wayne is leading a small group to make robotics for open manufacturing, which means we hope the neighbors, workers can dance with the machine, work with the machines, ask the machine to do the repetitive work, like putting stickers to a bag. We need someone to do that. That one can be robotics, and then it can be helped by human beings, because human being has best optic visions, has best agile flexibility. So we can just fit all the non-standard parts or adjust the machines on the fly. So we hope the machine to be cute, to be small, and to be harmless, so they can work very seamlessly with people. Yeah, I think you can see more downstairs, and our engineers will be there to answer more questions you may have. Cool.
In this 2 years, yours market is still growing, but in this which country is maybe still same? I think America is more and more bigger, and Asia is growing faster. Yes, and Japan is maybe still same, and Euro is a little bit growing in your market share of the world.
I think the growth is like the makers. We are a very small group of people, but now the makers are expanding into other areas, like more programmers, more IT specialists. They join the community and become makers. And works on atoms instead of things. So I think that's a trend. And I think maybe in Japan, because people are already making a lot of things, so makers, it's not that new. It's not so fashion. But it might take some time for them to more from DIY to DIT, do it together, to work with the global community to create something new and to share more. Be more open and more sharing. You see this in the United States. We go to the Maker Fair. There are 240,000 visitors for the Bay Area Maker Fair. People come. There are a lot of children, students, elders come to the Maker Fair. And I think for Tokyo Maker Fair, we have too many otakus.
Yes.
We need someone beyond otakus to join the community. So they can make something very cool, something very simple but interesting, not too high technology only. So I think that's needs some time to curate. Of course, the developing countries taking more speed. There's not so much interesting contents yet. So, makers come in, we just very low cost and start to make things.
Please answer in English. Please answer in English.
Don't they are used for the chip, like microcontrollers, the core components. But for assembly, the components into different products that should be happen close to the market. It will save a lot of logistic cost, and it can also grant a lot of value editing because they can cater to diversities. So we are experimenting with manufacturing in the Bay Area. We want to experiment with manufacturing in Tokyo. We have manufacturing in the States.
アメリカで作ってるから。
It's okay. We have manufacturing. We have a lot of manufacturing in the States, but they are not suitable for small quantities. They are too expensive for small quantities because they are doing an old-fashioned way for militaries, for big corporations. But we need a much different way of doing that, which is more open, more sharing, and more connected.
And yeah, I told first, we Japanese government making some frontier makers project. I think in the future, some Japanese work together for Seeedstudio, and some such as intern or some making together development in this Agile Manufacturing Center. That's a possible.
Sure. That would be our pleasure.